Hi, everyone. I'm going live a couple of minutes early just to make sure everything's working. I had technical problems the last 2 or 3 weeks. So today I'm drinking, once again, June Kombucha. Kombucha. What did I say? Kombucha. Kombucha? June Kombucha, wild tonic made with honey, organic blueberry basil. Is so good. However, I was almost out of that, and I filled about that much with some elderberry healer tea, sun tea that I made. I've got a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I'm traveling this weekend, so I may not stay on for a full hour. Yes. Okay, stop. One of our fans is watching on her television and she cannot comment. So I said, what are you? Because she had written me early that she was, what did she say? She said she is rotating her stash. I said, what do you mean by that? What is your stash? And so she said food and so forth. So I'm just, in case you guys still haven't gotten around to storing some food, this is the hour. And all you have to do is look at any homesteading channel or prepper channel, and you'll see they've been preaching this for months. And I'm not here to preach to you. Everybody else is doing that. But I am just here to reinforce the idea, because I saw a very disturbing video a few days ago. And it would seem, and you don't take my word, never take my word for anything, do your own research. But I saw a video that was a compilation of a number of different farmers, and they were destroying their crops. They were being paid to do that. And so that if you have any idea, well, if you all have gardens, so you all have some idea of how much work and planning and money and effort and hope that goes into getting good weather, getting rain, not having an insect infestation like I'm having with armyworms. And then can you imagine you manage to get through all that, and then you have to cut it all down? Okay. That is, I can't even begin to imagine what that must feel like. So everybody, you need to, if you haven't stocked up on the essentials, now is the time. So anyway, this particular person who follows my channel, she's part of our community, but she watches on television, and evidently, I guess when you watch on television, you cannot comment. But she's got rice, dry and canned beans, dry lentils, frozen and canned veggies, and so forth. Gloves, masks, peroxide, alcohol, wipes, detergent, soap, water, and a Berkey to filter water, and seeds and nuts. And I didn't ask about heat, but the essentials are, of course, coming up when it gets cold. It's already cold in the lower hemisphere. It is cold. It's winter. The essentials are power of some kind, heat, water, clean water, and food and shelter. Those are the basics. So if the grid goes down, are you prepared for any or all of those things? So that's what we have to ask ourselves. So I want to just mention a couple of things that I took some notes. Let me just quickly say hello. I caught the pre-show comments. I don't know what you're referring to, Daryl. Daryl seems to have the first comment. If you have to ask that, you should probably stay here and listen. And there's nothing before you, so I don't know what you're referring to. But Eric is here, oops, in Washington, and Susie is here from, I always want to say Alabama or Georgia, and I always get it wrong. I think it's Georgia. And no, I'm not, Deadly Wound says, no, I'm not looking at steam coming off the garden. I am looking at my side garden. And what is disturbing is that I have hundreds of blooms on my lemon cucumbers, and all of the leaves are yellowing and browning, and there isn't one single fruit. And they came up like gangbusters in the beginning. So once again, I've overcrowded. That's my MO. No matter what space you give me, I manage to overcrowd it. Remember how nice and organized sort of individual plants in my last August garden update tour, my last video? Everything was just kind of, here's a plant, and here's a plant, and here's a plant. And now it's all just run together. I mean, I knew that would happen with the winter squash, because that's what they do. They spread out. Winter squash, somebody was saying on a comment to prune off those runners of the winter squash. I've never done that because always like the greenest part is on the end, and the deadest looking part is towards the plant where the roots go in. So does anybody have some thoughts on that? Speaking of deer, I see I'm behind on comments already about the deer. So I don't know why, but I haven't managed to see any deer. I get up before dawn pretty much every day, and I keep an eye. I have the two big picture windows, and I keep an eye out, and I haven't seen any deer passing through. And 3 weeks ago, there would be like 3 to 6 out there every day, morning and afternoon. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm missing it or what, but I also took the advice of someone who wrote a comment, and she was saying to use, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, it's Milorganite, Milorganite. She said, and I forget your name, maybe you're watching right now, but I appreciate the comment. That's the only thing that had kept critters off of her veggies. Deer, raccoons, all of the usual suspects. I think badgers, she said badgers was the only thing that it did not keep off her garden. And I don't have badgers here, so I don't have to worry about badgers. But anyway, it is, I looked it up. It's made from human waste. Okay. It's made from cleaned up human waste. It has the nice term calling it biosolids. Doesn't that sound great? Biosolids. Sounds so organic. But anyway, she didn't recommend to put it on the vegetable. She just said to put it around the perimeter of your garden. So I had Justin do that down there. And I don't know if that's helping, or if that's the reason I'm not seeing deer, or if it's just a timing issue. I really don't know. But I will keep you posted on that. And hello, BJ, Claudia, Denise, Tracy. Oh, you're the 6:15. Oh, well, you can only be on for a few minutes then, because you're 1 hour ahead, I believe. Jamela is here from Trinidad and Tobago. Eric Hale is here. Haven't seen you in a while, or seen a comment. Patricia is here, our moderator. I haven't seen to see if Haffy's here. Debbie's here from California. Debbie, how are you doing? Are you getting any rest? Has your life changed at all? Tess is here from Zone 7. That's my zone in New Jersey. Wow, a disease. Well, I don't think could be my situation, because I mean, there were 6 here like 3 weeks ago. Mm. Sarah's here from New Zealand. Oh my. Welcome. Sherry is here from Kentucky, country homestead preacher. Yes, I know about the human hair thing and deer because OAG, Old Alabama Gardener, had told me that in 2017 when I did my first trip down there. But when I came here, I spoke to what everybody should do when they move to a new area. I've mentioned this before, is go to your extension agent and introduce yourself and tell them you're going to be planting a garden. Do they have any advice, etc.? And they said, I asked about deer, and they said they get used to everything. They just get used to it. It might deter them for a while, but they get used to everything. Except, of course, being shot. And I'm not going to start shooting with bullets, deer in my front yard. So anyway, Martin is here. Thank you for your wonderful comment the other day. You're getting serious with the kombucha? Oh, I'm kidding. Yeah, right. I still have the mother that Jack Davis gave me last November when I stayed at their house for a week in Phoenix on my 1-month Odyssey trip across the country. And she gave me the mother. I know there's another name for it. I always forget. But it's that weird looking creature in the liquid that you use to start your kombucha. It's a starter, like a starter for bread culture or something. And I haven't done anything with it. I haven't fed it. I haven't given it any sugar. It's just been sitting on my counter all these months because I just evidently don't have enough brain cells to spread across everything I need to do and want to do. Kristen is here from Pittsburgh. I know, Daryl, that's what I'm talking about. The government paying farmers 1.5 times the amount they would get at harvest if they destroy their crops. Like I said, anything you hear on this channel, go and do your own research. I mean, there's so much information out there. You could spend hours every single day educating yourself. You won't see it on on the TV. Edwin is here from Arizona. Have a great trip to Beverly Hills. Denise is here. I know, heartbreak. Amazing autist. Oh dear. Where are you located, amazing autist? Maybe someone could give you some help. Maybe someone watching right now could give you some help. We have 131 people. I hadn't even noticed. 128. How did it shift so quickly? Everyone, if you could just hop off of the live chat, not the live stream, but the live chat window, and click that thumbs up button. It really helps the analytics, and maybe YouTube would share this more, and more people would get the message that hopefully I can inspire you to be more self-sufficient. But when your mother's, when your mother's going through chemo and you can't get out to buy and you're totally dependent. And I know I have a lot of people that follow me that just can't do that. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody that's watching can connect with you and help in some way. I mean, here people are, I'm in the country, small town country. I follow on Nextdoor. And that's something that you might think about doing, amazing autist, is if you're not on it Nextdoor, you should get on it and just and say, is anybody growing a garden? Does anybody have any produce to share? Here's my situation. My mother's going through chemo. We can't get out. We're dependent upon stores. Can anybody help? And who knows? Maybe somebody would. I mean, here, they're saying, hey, we got way too much squash, or they're dropping it off at people's houses that don't even ask. And, I'm not saying I see that every day, but I do see it. So maybe that can help. Ecocentric is here. Yes, Jotham, there has been a reason, and I encourage you just to Google. Not, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I encourage you just to search that because you will find it. It's all part of the plan. Medicine, yes, she did mention that. In terms of your preparedness, you absolutely have to have your prescriptions, your medicines, your herbal medicines, your pharmaceuticals, whatever it is you need. You need to have a big supply of that, not just 30 days. You need to, have that. That's a very important. And I'm trying to do the same thing you're doing. I'm watching other channels who are talking about this, and maybe there's something I've forgotten. And Danny at Deep South Homestead has been talking about it a lot. I follow him, and then I was going to recommend Self-Sufficient Me. I mean, he's got a majorly successful channel, and he's got 631,000 views on a video called the number 5 ways to quickly become more self-sufficient. I mean, who wouldn't watch that? It's a great title. And if he delivers on that, then that's awesome. Okay. Let's talk about power. I did buy a backup generator. This is just a temporary quick fix kind of thing. It's a gas powered. I should have gotten a dual fuel. If you still haven't gotten a backup generator and you can afford to get one, even maybe you could pick up one on Facebook Marketplace for not very much money. I mean, deals, it is possible to find deals. Somebody might be trading up. You never know. But I bought a gas powered one because I wasn't, like I said, the brain cells, I don't have enough apparently to even get my plants watered. Every time I come in here and do one of these, I go, I really should water these plants. But anyway, the dual fuel, number one, propane keeps much longer than gasoline. So you can buy gasoline and put it in a 2 to 5 gallon can and put it in your shop or not your garage. You wouldn't want to do that. Put it somewhere safe. And, but it's not going to keep as long as like a 20 gallon propane tank. And so I should have gotten a dual fuel that could use either one. And I didn't. And, $500 in, it's I hate to kind of go and spend another $1,100 or $900 for the dual fuel when I've already got this one. So, well, yes, my coach, let's just call her my coach, who's watching on television. She said natural gas, not gasoline. Well, I am not talking about a whole house generator. That's a whole different thing. I had another person come out and give me an estimate, and it was going to be, I think Generac was out about 10 months to get a Generac. And so I had him come out because the electrician who came to give me a tune-up checkup or whatever you call it, and he put in a couple of dimmer switches. He was saying that I could probably get a Kohler whole house generator within 2 weeks. And I'm going, okay, send your guy out here. And so this is through Hiller, who they do electric and plumbing, and it's kind of a big company. And so I'm part of the Happy Hiller Club. And so he came right out the next day, and he said, we did buy 500 Kohler 20K whole house generators. And he said the 14K, you probably know this is all new to me, was all new to me, the 14K, which, you drop down in price only $1,000, and then you don't have enough to do 2 HVACs and all that stuff. I don't need all that, but I mean, it would be nice to just have a seamless backup power. I do have natural gas, which is unusual out in the country. They put it here in 1995. I would like to do. It's very expensive. Okay, very expensive. So I was considering doing it, and then he said, "Well, let me check and see," because we bought a bunch of generators and we stored them in our warehouse, and let me see if we still have one. And so he called me back the next day, and he didn't say, "We have one." That's what I was expecting to hear. "We have one." And then I would have already said, "Okay, let's make a deal." But that didn't happen. So I have a feeling that that's the same story, 10 to 17 weeks, which 10 to 17 weeks almost gets me through the winter. No, not quite. But anyway, so I'm still on the fence about all that. But I did want to ask if anybody has, I know that a lot of these things that you see advertised on YouTube and Instagram and all that for the solar backup power, I know that they're not good quality. So I wonder if anybody has purchased a solar backup power unit that actually will run a few things, and that you recommend that works well. If anybody has a recommendation, I'm going to just jump right down, and I'm going to ask, do we only have, Haffy's here. So Haffy and Priscilla, if you see anybody ask an important question, can you copy and paste it and put it in all caps and put it down there so that I can find it? Because I might miss it and I don't want to. So any recommendations for a solar backup power unit? Oh, that's very good to know. I happened to see Martin's comment, and he said he converted 2 generators for dual fuel. Now, see, you're clever, and you can do that sort of thing. I would just have to buy it. I'm not clever. I'm clever enough to be alive and to have made this move and all of that, but I'm not that clever. Sorry. Thank you, Tracy Spose. Scoby, the kombucha mother is called Scoby. See, I mean, who would remember that? Mother is so much easier to remember. Oh my gosh, Gretchen just did 4.5 pints of sweet relish. I love the Amish sweet relish that I buy, but I would like to make my own. However, my peppers, you probably haven't heard me talk too much about my peppers. They're just, I've gotten some nice pumpkin jalapeno, but that's about it. And I've had, I think 2, count them, 2 chocolate sweet peppers, and I just ate those. So I haven't been able to preserve any peppers whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't think anybody would do that. This is not, yeah, I was just reading Dee's comment. Well, RT3 Box 6 TX. Surely no one would brand farmers as traitors. Let's see. Okay. Oh, well, that's fantastic. See, if you can make your own. See, Teresa says her husband is out today grabbing solar panels to make their own backup power. And I'm assuming you're going to be getting some kind of a battery system to go with. Yeah, oh, yes, the Happy Gardener. Are you talking about just your little the little solar backup that I'm talking about? Or are you talking about in general? Because you definitely need more than 1,000 watts. But conversion kits, you mean a conversion kit? I'm sorry, someone asked me reminded me nicely to repeat the question that I am responding to. Martin says, have Justin look into the conversion kits. Are you talking about spending $200 to almost $400 to convert this gas powered to dual fuel? I mean, I guess that's less than going out and buying a new dual fuel. Zucchini, Kathleen England says she has a wonderful recipe for zucchini relish. You know, I've only got one pot of zucchini, and I think I've only produced about 6 or 7 zucchini, so I don't think I'll be making any relish, unfortunately. Thank you, Mary. Okay, I will, Dee. Thank you. Okay, amazing Altus. Take care. Well, the Happy Gardener, I have thought about a solar power bank. I haven't had anyone come out. I see the commercials all the time. If you live in Tennessee, you qualify for a blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, yeah, qualify, and you get this back, and I don't know. But my question is, do I have enough sun? Because it has to go on the roof. I mean, the solar panels have to go on the roof, and right now they're completely shaded by those huge maple trees in the front. So they would only get a little bit of sun back here in the back. I don't think it would ever produce the kind of power that I would need to justify the expense of doing it. So, Krista, you're in Australia. I've never heard of Aldi, so I don't know what kind they are or anything. I'm just trying to go back and see. I've got cucumbers. Tracy is talking about not being able to get cucumbers to grow. I've got one container, a big container of cucumbers and a big container of zucchini seeds given to me by Jack Davis in Phoenix. And they now have powdery mildew. So, you know, they looked really good for a while. I need to get out the neem, but hey, guess what? I need to get out the BT, and I need to get out all kinds of Captain Jacks and everything else. I mean, the army worms are insane here. I gave I pulled 2 army worms out of one of the raised beds, and I gave them to, well, it turns out BJ was the only one that ran over when I called them. And I gave them to her, and I said, here. I thought she would just play with it, you know, bat it around, because they curl up, you know, and she just bat it around. I think she ate it. I think she ate them both. Anyway, I do feed them a lot. Anyway, the army worms are horrible. And I am sad to say that I didn't go, because of this 95-degree heat, you know, by 10 in the morning, I just pretty much have to come inside. So, and take a shower and cool off. And so, like right now, let me see what the temperature is right now. $97. No, sorry, 93. It has dropped to 93 at 5:30. So, you know, I don't even go down to the lower garden. And he went down this morning, and when he came back, he looked like he had just walked through a shower. He was just drenched. And he went down there just for half an hour to do a little watering. And he said the corn has just been attacked by the army worms. And I bought the BT. Someone recommended BT, and I'd never used it all these years. And I used it over here, which salvaged some of the corn over here. But I've got some ears, but they're really skinny. They're like that big around. So anyway, I'm afraid to go down there, but I'm going to have to go down there. I just wanted to quickly say that a few things that have gotten accomplished around here is I have finally, I bought it when I lived in my apartment, when I was staying in my apartment last year, my security system. And it's just been, so many other things to deal with, wanted to get the garden going, pretty much got everything growing that I'm planting. And so Justin finally got that thing online. So I'm glad of that, especially since I'm traveling. I want to make sure, I have that. And speaking of fall garden, I know Daryl's got plants that he's going to be planting more plants for the fall garden, even though he's got all these other plants. But I started a bunch of stuff. I started cabbage and chard and all of the usual suspects. And I don't know what happened. I guess I just maybe overwatered it or something, but I mean, I didn't think I did. I only did one tray of, like that. And which probably had about, let's see, it's 6 times, I think there's 12 of those little things in it. So 6 times 12. So 72 plants. And I think I have like 4 in there. So I don't know what happened. Even after all these years, you can fail. But I just noticed, our friend at Black Gumbo channel, Scott Head, just put out a video, his fall garden, I think he said fall garden tour. So be sure and check that out. And okay, so we're renting a mini excavator. Maybe you saw my post on the community page. Went over there today, and the Home Depot guy didn't, when they checked this in, like when we took it back the first time, it was spotless. You're supposed to they're going to charge you $200 if you bring it back dirty. So we took ours back spotless. So we go to pick this same machine up today. It was dirty, and they didn't notice. And, I'm going to be observant to this now, because I just figured the guy that works there would have checked this when they brought it back. But we get it all the way home. I drive it all the way home, tow it home on their trailer, and the seatbelt is broken. Now, if it was a big, solid, thing, I don't know. I don't want anybody risking their themselves working for me. So we just decided, we called the repair. They said they didn't have a seatbelt. They couldn't come out. We wasted an entire day on that, and it has to go back tomorrow, and I have to get another one, a bigger one. Presumably I can get the very next size up and still tow it with my Colorado. But what we're doing with that is we're leveling. I scrapped the whole idea of a woodshed. I don't have time to build a woodshed. I can build a woodshed next year. Daryl's going to come over and teach us his special technique for stacking firewood in the 4 foot tall, 8 to 10 foot long sections that are 2 feet deep. And so he's going to excavate that flat area over there. Some it's flat, but he's going to make it all flat. Justin is, with the mini excavator. And then if it works out, and it may not, this wooden deck out back, which you've seen, we're going to disengage it. And I have two 4-inch PVC 12 footers, 12 or 14 feet, I forget. I think they're 12 feet. And we're going to roll it roll it, and and take it over there and set it in the flat area that he excavates. And then I will have plenty of room, and it'll be very neat and organized. And I'll have these rows of 8 to 10 foot long stacks of firewood. So that's really my first objective right now is getting that set up, because I've made an arrangement for the firewood, but I want to get it here. I want to have it here. I don't want to wait. And even though he said he's got it for me, I don't want to wait till October and then something goes wrong, and I want to get that handled. So the water update, cistern seems to be holding. We haven't had enough rain. It's probably only half full. And we don't have, what we discovered is we don't have enough water pressure, either from up here or obviously from down lower, to run a little oscillating sprinkler, which is what I was hoping to do down there to get a lot of water on that corn. But it's supposed to rain for 5 days straight starting next week sometime. So I hope that happens. But okay, I finally got an American flag, and it was made in someone had recommended me to go to the Made in America store. And I did, and I bought an American flag. And then I went to Home Depot for a flagpole, and the flags and flagpoles that they sell there are all made in the US. So I could have just gotten the whole kit there, but I just wanted to make sure if I was going to hang an American flag, that it was made in the US. So let's see. There was a couple more things. I was wondering if anybody knows how long, once you open a jar of elderberry syrup, how long is it good in the fridge? Because I opened one some time ago, and it seems like it would be like anything else you would store in the fridge. It's probably only good for like 2 to 4 weeks, right? And the other question I have for the group is, I have some tomatoes, and I don't think I have enough to justify getting out the pressure canner and learning how to do that and all of that. I think I'm just going to water bath can. I haven't canned since 2017. And at the time I canned jam, and I canned a water bath canned jam and tomatoes. So at that time, I dunked all of my tomatoes in, I blanched them to, just for 30 seconds to get the peel off. And I was wondering, does anybody can their tomatoes with the peels on? Because it's such a lot of work, and it's so much waste. And who knows, maybe there's nutrition in that peel. And so I'm going to scroll down and see if anybody's got any answers for that. Okay, good. Hedgehog's Homestead says, yes, 2 to 4 weeks is about tops. So I'm just going to have to dump it. Six months after opening? Oh, wow. That's true, Tracy. In fact, Danny at Deep South Homestead was just saying that. He says hallelujah when he hears that young people are going into a homestead debt-free. And I said, I wrote him a comment, and I said, well, I'm going into homesteading debt-free, but I'm not young. So let's see. Dehydrate the pills. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to have some dried tomato slabs, Daryl, but I don't have any big, wonderful tomatoes. I mean, every one of them has a problem. They're split skins or cat facing or something. Oh, that's true. Yeah, and you know what I need to order are those sheets that you put on the shelves in the dehydrator because I just have the grid and all of that's going to drip through and make a mess. Skins and seeds all go in. Yes, but if you only core the tomatoes, I bought an immersion blender. I'd never had one. And so can you just, I mean, that skin is going to be, if you leave the tomato skin on, it seems to me that at some point it's just going to be this thing. My problem is, Gail, is I don't have big, beautiful tomatoes that don't have a spot on them or something. So in order to use part of it, I have to cut that off. And now I've got that whole exposed area. So if I threw away every tomato that had a spot on it or a crack or a split or cat facing, I wouldn't have any tomatoes. So, oh, it jumped. So now I have all these comments. 175 of you are here. If you're just joining my channel for the very first time, I am homesteading for the first time in my life. My channel is over 9 years old. Well, let's see, 2000, yeah. I'm completing my 9th year on YouTube. And for the first, until last December, I was gardening in California. So I have a ton of videos on gardening in California. And then this has been about trying to establish a sustainable homestead and develop gardens. And yeah, I know everybody told me don't take on too much, and I did. You know, you think, well, you're going to have the energy, you're going to have the time, but guess what? It's 95 and you go out and in an hour you're spent. And so, and everybody warned me about that, but still you think, well, gosh, I'm not getting that much done. So I've got this bug damage. Things need to be watered. I finally got everything mowed this week. I mean, you know, they just do the basic. They come in, they blast through. There's 4 of them. There's 3, I think there's 3 mowers, standing mowers. These guys just it's like an invasion in a good way. But I mean, the grass, some of the grass on top of the topsoil that I had delivered. So I guess it is good topsoil. That's what he said. That must be really good topsoil because that grass was like waist high. He was like seed heads on the top of the grass, like that big. And I'm just going, he's weed whacking it. I'm just going, those seeds are just going everywhere. So anyway, I bought a tarp, 20 by 30 tarp. Shopping for tarps on Amazon, let me just say that you read the reviews and they're all going, this is crap. It's going to last you 1 year. And I'm going, okay, well, I'll spend a little bit more money and get something that's going to last more than a year. And I wanted to get a green one, like olive green, like army green, that, you know, so you wouldn't really see it. It would just kind of blend in because it's 20 by 30 on the side of my garden. But I couldn't find one that had any kind of good reviews that was either brown or olive colored. So this one is like kind of green, but it's almost like turquoise green. So you'll be seeing that, because that's going to be sitting there for a while. I'm going to leave that on there until all of that grass is killed, and because he may need some of that dirt for the projects we're going to do around here. We'll see. Let me see if I have any other answers to my questions. Oh, Kathleen, and the army worms are like that long, and they're almost as big as my little finger. And they have stripes. Let's see. Yeah, the stripes are running lengthwise. They're brown with a darker brown stripe. Ugh. Blech. I had scissors in my hands, so I just kind of, oh, wait till you see I haven't showed you, I haven't even made that video. My definitive tomato video, I haven't made, haven't edited, but I found so many hornworms. Oh my gosh. And many of them were covered in parasitic wasp larvae. If you don't know that old story, search it. It's really crazy. It's a crazy thing to see. When I'm going along and I'm not expecting to see that, because I think maybe it happened one time in California, had one, and I'm going along and I'm thinking, I'm cutting off bad, because it's that time, diseases are happening. And so I was cutting off bad stems and leaves and things, and harvesting tomatoes, many of which are rotten because it rained so much and then it stopped raining and then they split. And then if you don't get out there, they rot. Ugh, so frustrating. I feel like I've wasted so much time and energy but I'm learning. Anyway, I came upon this thing. I thought it was a flower. I thought it looked like a clover. You know how red clover, not red, it's not red, but it's, how clover is like a long kind of thing like that with little tiny blooms all over it. I thought, oh, what a pretty flower. And then I went, wait a minute. That is a 5th stage larva, hornworm larva covered in parasitic wasp larva. I mean, imagine that a parasitic wasp, tiny little thing, lays their egg, sticks their ovipositor, I think that's the right word, into a hornworm egg. And these things live in there, and that thing emerges and starts growing, and then they start growing, and then it gets to be full size, and they literally come out of holes in their skin. You can, I used my close-up camera, so you'll have to, maybe I should put a cautionary thing on the graphic content. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's good to know. Now I understand. Is it scoby, SCOBY? Yeah, obviously yeast. Yeah, so scoby, what makes it kombucha is the mother, some of the scoby in there. It ferments, right? I mean, it causes the fermentation process. Anyway, it stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So Tracy, you're saying that your neighbor has a Generac whole house generator, and now it has to be serviced quite a bit. That would be a drag for, I would think. I mean, you're supposed to service them once a year, whether you use them or not. Ditzy Dorky Diary, hello. Where are you writing from? 194, thank you so much for joining this channel. I hope you'll consider subscribing. We're talking about, I'm usually talking about conducting live streams about self-sufficiency and gardening. Those are the two things. People ask me, oh, we want to see a home tour. No, sorry, it's too much of a mess, and things like that. But, and cooking videos, cooking channels have their own sort of algorithm through YouTube. And unless you're really just doing cooking, I can't get new people to come and watch cooking videos. So that's been a perpetual issue. So I don't really, and they're hard to do. It's a lot of work to make a cooking video, because first you have to look good. Second, your kitchen has to look good. Third, you've got to have all the ingredients and have figure out what you're going to do. And then you got to make something that looks beautiful and tastes good. And it takes all day just to do that. And then you got to edit it. And then you make like $10 and you go, it's not worth it. Eric, East Cleveland. Pretty soon we won't be able to use our cell phones. They're going to block us. Oh, gosh. Well, I suppose that could happen. East Cleveland is saying might not be able to use our cell phones. No soil and margaritas. I have not added irrigation. I need to figure out something with that because the raised beds are so deep with soil that they tend, if the plants get established, they tend to do better. Although I didn't even mulch those because we brought the soil right up to the top, which shouldn't do that. But when I change things over, I'm gonna change that a little bit. But no, I'm gonna have to figure out irrigation because I've got these very separated garden areas, and I was kind of really hoping that the rain would be good enough, and it's not. Son of a gun, Jeremy, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I started off the live stream by saying that every homesteading and prepper channel is talking about you better be stocking up. And I'm trying, but I'm not going to be, I haven't been able to grow enough food to put up to keep me for a month. I'm going to have to rely on right now going to the store, buying stuff and storing it. So I'm hoping that everybody has some capacity for doing that. And if you don't, talk to your neighbors, see if somebody can help you. Some people are disabled and need help. And those are the people we need to try to help. If you have surplus, just connect with people. It's going to be very important that we're connected going forward. So that's what we're talking about, Kevin. And hopefully you'll go back and watch the whole thing. Well, Happy, unfortunately, I don't remember everything I'm told. And Justin can verify that information. I'll come and say, well, somebody said on my channel, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I told you that. I said, you did? Yes. I don't remember. Tell me again. So that's good. I'm glad to know that. And I found that out today. Romesa is here from New Jersey. Please go back and watch the whole thing. Let's see. Ooh, let's see. Wow, I must have scrolled back. I'm back on tomatoes and elderberry syrup. Let's see. Susan says, just freeze those tomatoes in Ziploc, peel or don't, quarter and pop in bags. Maybe I should just do that. I've watched a few and I wanted to just do one batch, however many jars will fit into my I bought the regular canning deep water canning pot, I keep the peel off, but I take the peel and put it in the dehydrator, make powder for taste or to thicken. That's such a great idea. Okay, I was just looking on my other computer. I was looking at ordering some sheets for my dehydrator, but I didn't get it quite done because I thought, well, I don't want to interrupt the kitties because they're sleeping. By the way, the kitties are doing great, all of them, and I said they're sleeping in the hottest part of the day. I just close the garage door because there's a fan going 24/7, and there's a vent that goes in there that and of course the concrete floor. So it's much cooler if the door is closed. And what was I saying? Oh, I didn't want to disturb them because they'll just be all over me, So I need to do that. Now they're I opened the door like 2 hours ago, and I look out right before this, and they're all sitting right on the step, and and I can see I have half of it in glass window, like that, but only a half door, and I can look like that, and they're all going. Oh gosh. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to peel them, at least this batch. I'm going to peel them and dehydrate the skins. That's what I'm going to do. Now, my question is, since I don't have these silicone sheets that are supposed to be so great for the dehydrator, is there something else I could use just now so I can get this done? Like I have wax paper. It's very thin though. And I have parchment paper sheets. I mean, you can bake on parchment paper up to like 400 degrees, I think, but not for 2 days. So I don't know how long it takes. And do the peels, can you just kind of put them on there? You don't have to spread them out and make them perfect, right? But I really want to do that because I'm going to do it. Tomato powder. Because I can just imagine that would really, really thicken, like chili, because I'm going to be making chili this winter for sure. In fact, I need to make sure that I have all the chili beans I need and ground beef. My freezer I've got four Asian style frozen dinners in there. And I've got 3 chuck is not the right word. 3 of those 2-inch thick slabs of beef that you cook like a roast. Whatever you call that. And 3 of those. And then last night I put 16 ounce. No, it's not even full. I baked some eggplant, and you collapse it until you bake it until it collapses down. And then you scrape it out. We have 202 people. I am talking about preparing foods, and I have a lot of eggplant for me, and so I baked some of the purple long eggplant, and you bake it at 400 until it on like a parchment sheet or something until it collapses down. Then you cut it in half and scrape it out, and then you just put it in a container or a freezer bag, and then you can use it later for sauces, soups. I don't know how you'd use it in a soup, but anyway, dip. That's what I was thinking would be good for dip or something like that. So I did that. That's only about 12 ounces. And then I cut 3 black beauties that were like that big in almost 1-inch slices. That's what it said to do 1 inch, but it takes a long time for 1-inch slice to cook. So I think they're pretty good. And then I had a 64-ounce freezer container, and I put wax paper. I put 2 rounds, almost filled up that size of that freezer container. And then I folded the paper over. I put 2 more back and forth, like lasagna, all the way to the top. Wax paper, eggplant slices. And then I had just some rounds on the top, and I squeezed it down, and it's filled up the whole thing. So froze that. So that's like enough eggplant for 2 meals for sure. And then I froze another 6 bananas into 2-inch pieces in a couple of quart freezer bags. And then blueberries were on sale on Sunday. And so I should have done it on Sunday. I didn't do it till yesterday. So the blueberries weren't quite as good, but I put 4 of those half pints in a freezer container. So I'm getting there. And of course I have the 12 quarts of green beans that I bought from the farm stand from the Amish green beans. And then I have 4 quarts of ratatouille that I made from scratch. And I have 2 quarts of peaches for when I really want to feel like having cobbler this winter, I've got the peaches all cooked and ready with sugar. They're sweetened, and then all I have to do is just make the drop biscuit dough and just throw them over the top, throw it in the oven. It'll be so easy, and I'll have some comfort food this winter. But that's all I've got so far, so I need to keep going. Susan, he was saying it takes 2 days for those slabs. Simplify Gardening says wax paper. Hi, Tony. Everybody, if you're not familiar with Simplify Gardening in Wales, check out his channel. It's a great educational channel. I made the trip back when I used to do a lot of traveling to see gardens, to film gardens. I went all the way to Wales. What a drive, such beautiful country. And went and met Tony in person. We had a cup of tea in his kitchen. It was so English. And he showed me his gardens. We had a great tour. So those are 2 videos that I have on my channel, if you could check that out. At the time, his channel was called something else. Let's see, it was called UK Here We Grow. And now it's Simplify Gardening, and it's such a successful channel. And Tony, if you don't mind me saying so, recently got married. So bravo. Bravo. And he looked like $1 million. He looked like he had been working out for a while. Oh yeah. Somebody mentioned Thrive last time. Freeze-dried food. Thrive freeze-dried. Thrive freeze-dried food. I've never bought freeze-dried food, but I did buy from a seed company, and I should have the name of this on the tip of my tongue, but I don't. I bought one of these seed, 3,000 seed. I can't remember how many, but a lot of seeds. All the basic stuff is in there, and I just put it in a freezer bag and put it in my freezer. That's just so I have seeds. Moy nature. I want to go home so bad. Stacking up and prepping is a smart thing to do. Where are you now that you can't go home? Moy nature. Sharon, yeah, I know. I just, I wouldn't want to get halfway through that project and it all fall apart. Yes, and Tony is saying the same thing. I'm rolling back now on comments. He's saying stock up now. Things are going south, and that's absolutely true. 25 pounds of carrots. I just got a big thing of carrots, and I'm wondering, do I let those go bad in the refrigerator if I don't get them juiced? Or maybe I could slice them. I don't know. What can I do with carrots if I don't get them juiced? And if I got them juiced, can I save the juice? Does anybody know? Because whenever I make juice, I haven't done it since I came here. I used to always make my own green juice with carrots, celery, zucchini, parsley, and whatever else I felt like throwing in. But those were the 4 basics. But I've never tried to preserve that. I don't even know if it would be good to try to preserve that. Anybody know? Let's see. Oh, well, geothermal is the way to go, but it's very expensive, and you really need to, like, I had a friend, I went to visit them, and I did at least 1 video there. No, 2, I think. Yeah. I went to my friend Mary's in Tennessee, and we did a small batch tomato paste canning, or tomato sauce canning in small batch. And she made it in her little, you'll have to watch the video, just scroll back to my Southeastern Gardens tour. And let's see, Lost my train of thought. Oh, when they built their house, they planned for geothermal. So the house is like kind of here, and then there's a drop off here. So over here, you see the geothermal comes in from over there and comes under the house. And she said it was the best thing that they did. They're on a slab, and then goes underneath it. And you walk all through their 1-story house, which is what I wanted, but don't have. And the floors are warm, Oh, that's so nice. Yes, I know. The problem with the irrigation tape down there is that's all going to change down there. I may not do the rows that way or anything. So it would be all of this work to set all this up, not to mention buying it. I mean, I had all that irrigation tape. It wasn't tape, it was 1/4-inch tubing. I had all that set up in my California garden, but I had a tiny garden. So I haven't made the investment in irrigation. Okay, Tracy is saying she canned 25 pounds of carrots. But how, and see, I have pickles in my refrigerator, but now they've been in there for 3 days. Is that bad to now go and try to can them? I wanted to just bring it in and do it the same day, and it just didn't happen. Deborah Kelly is here. Thank you. 207 of you. Thank you so much for joining. Please remember to hit that thumbs up when you sign off today. Would really appreciate it. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Otherwise, you won't hear about my live stream. Jean is here, skilling. Let's see. Ooh, $23 a pound for snap bean seeds. Does anyone know what dry bean will grow green beans? Well, rattlesnake pole beans, but I don't know where you are. And I have some, but I got to keep them, Oh, really? I didn't know you could get, so Azure Standard has einkorn berries, but then I've got to grind my own flour, right? From the berries? Oh, and flour, okay. Thank you, Southern Alabama Garden. I hope you heard that. You may already be gone. Urban White Buffalo Farm. Oh, okay. Thank you for tuning in as long as you did. Yeah, many tomatoes are rotting here. It's just driving me nuts. Thank you so much, Steve in Minneapolis. Debbie left, Catherine gardening. Wow. I don't know what you're referring to, but thank you for joining, Catherine. And where are you located? Oh, right, Aldi's. Daryl was telling me about Aldi's, and I think there might be one in Lebanon. I saw something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. But see, Deanna, if I make the spaghetti sauce without the peels and I dehydrate, it seems like a lot of work, right? So much work. Why don't I just cut them up, cook them a little bit, and put the immersion blender in there and just grind up all the, but it may not. I've never used an immersion blender. Do you think the immersion blender would shred the skins? Daryl and I were talking about juicing the tomatoes, but then the skin winds up on the blades, and that's on I have a twin gear. I have a twin gear juicer that I have had for 20 years. And at some point, like two or 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I thought, gosh, I've had this for such a long time. I probably should order some new twin gears that are sharper or something, you know? And I call them up and they go, they're self-sharpening. You never have to replace those. And I'm going, oh my gosh, a product that never wears out, that you never have to replace the parts. I mean, what's the chance of that? But it's called the, am I going to be able to remember the name of it? Denora kept saying she wanted one and she wanted one and she wanted one, but they're expensive. And Denora is the woman that worked for me for over 15 years and once a week. And so I got her one for a going away present. And you can get them at Best Buy, which I didn't know. Fern's Nutrition is where I ordered mine. What's the name of it? They have a more modern version, but you know, it still works fine. Let's see. UV rays are terrible on tarps. Oh. Oh, Susan, I hadn't thought to look for, I wrote down Susan instead of Haas. Haas for tarps. Okay. I'll check that out. Yeah, the wild things, the only thing I have wild that I would like to, but I never managed to get it picked. I should pick it right before the mower comes. And that is the, the stuff I put on one of my tick bites. What's that called? The green leaves are either roundish or skinny. Plantain. That's the only thing I have that I know of. But I ordered that book, The Lost Herbs. Or no, I didn't. It's not The Lost Herbs. It's this is the problem with me in books. I order things, but I don't have time to read them. The Forager's Guide to Wild Foods, Edible Plants, Lichens, Mushrooms, and Seaweeds. Seaweeds. Now, yeah. In California, they were saying, don't use the seaweed. I did a video once where I went down to the beach because I was only like 5 minutes from the beach. And I went down to the beach and I collected seaweed and I did that because I had visited Runka in northern Germany, and she was right on the coast there between Germany and Denmark. And she would go and collect this amazing seaweed, and she had the most amazing compost. Oh my Lordy. It was just incredible, just mountains of this stuff. And a lot of it was these seaweed grasses that she would collect. Not like, when I went down to the beach down there, it was like these tube things with these leaves, these rubbery tube type things. Not like what she was getting at all. But anyway, I did that. And then after I posted that video, everybody's going, oh, radiation or from Fukushima. So anyway, that's the last time I tried seaweed in compost. It is 6:12. Did anybody else have a big burning question? Don't grow varieties that cat face. Well, okay, I'm having to start over next year. That's all there is to it. Alta Daniel, tomato skin does not have a good texture when cooking with skins. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it off and dry it. I really want to try to do that. And Simplify Gardening said I could use wax paper, so I'm just going to do that. Did he say wax paper or parchment paper? Blend before or stick blend later? Stick blend later, whichever is easiest. Uh, ooh, TUDN. Leave the skin on. 1870s Homestead makes tons of sauce and she leaves the peels and skins. The peels and seeds. Sorry. Right, Tracy. It's just like, whoa. Well, I mean, that makes so much more sense, but it seems to me one in Ione. I'm not sure what your name is or where are you located? One in Ione. Says you can also freeze whole. Somebody else had said, a number of people had also said that. And then you can can in the winter. That makes so much more sense because I just don't have time right now. And I'm going on 2 trips. But my question is, if they've been sitting on the countertop for 3 or 4 days, can you still freeze it? I mean, I guess you can if it doesn't have any rotting on it, but I just feel like I have to trim it off. But you know what I could do is I could trim it off and put it in large jars and freeze it and then take it out and can it. You know, cut off the bad parts, wash them in vinegar because somebody else suggested that and I've been doing that ever since. Thank you so much. I do listen to comments. And before you go, I wanted to, oh shoot, where is it? Dear, I know I put it in here. No, I didn't. I love it when people write me, and I'm going to end with this because we're running over anyway, 6:15. Somebody who's followed me for a very long time wrote me from Ireland. That's Carl. For all of you who know, he's in Dublin, and he sent me some seeds for meadowsweet. And I'm sure meadowsweet is listed in that book that I just held up. And it's a long letter, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But he talks about an ancient healing plant of Ireland. He thinks I know about it, but I don't know about that. And so I'm glad to know about it. I did look it up, and I was excited about the seeds, and I did look it up, but it says it takes 4 years to bloom. So what I want to see if if I can find either some dried flower buds online or find a plant that's been in a pot for at least a couple of years. Because evidently it has a high source of salicylic acid, which your body uses the same as aspirin. So it's great for headache, aches and pains, and your heart. It will grow in your zone. My zone is 7, and makes a beautiful cough syrup, handy for winter. The Celts used to chew the leaves for pain, and that's similar to the toothache plant, I think, because you can chew those leaves for pain, for toothaches. And seems like there was something else. Yeah, here, and he gave me the recipe for the cough syrup. Raspberry or any other wild berry or something like that. But it says on here, I won't read the whole recipe, but it's got a lot of vitamin C in it, and you use the flower heads or leaves chopped up. So I just wanted to I love it when people write me and send me great information like that, especially healing information that I can share with other people. So you might want to try to get your hands on some meadowsweet. And I'm going to get out my parchment paper. When I get off, I'm going to go take care of the two. I've got about that much twice of tomatoes that I've washed that I can use for sauce. I'm going to drop them into hot water. I'm going to peel them, and then I'm going to dehydrate the peels and into powder. And does anybody know how long and what temperature I would do that? Gemma is here. Hey, sweet Gemma. Okay, let's see. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom because I didn't get to see all the comments. Okay, our moderator had to leave, so that's a great time to. Linda G says, score them, freeze them, thaw them, skin them, use them. Yeah, that's what my concern is, Susan. I don't know if you're still on. That's my concern. Wait, what did Cherie say to get the skins off? Thank you, Matt Dalton. Other people have said that, and I'm going to try it. Freeze the tomatoes, then the skins slip right off? Well, that's easier. I'm going to do that. Score the tops of tomatoes, then freeze them, and the skins will come right off once you cook them. Ah. Betty is here from Ottawa, Canada. Thank you for joining us. And if anybody wants to send me some great seeds for next year that don't have a tendency to have cat facing, you know, my mailing address is Post Office Box 2358, Lebanon, Lebanon, Tennessee 37088. Ooh. That's a great idea. Military tarps. And I might be able to get the right color too. Love Cat says, I roast fresh tomatoes of all types with onions, celery, garlic, and peppers, immersion blend, and freeze portions. Oh, so you roast the wait. Oh, so it's almost like a soup by the time you freeze it. That's a great idea. And of course, when you roast the tomatoes, the peel comes right off. Yes, I got very jealous. Happy is talking about Growers Solutions, and I got very jealous because Living Traditions Homestead channel bought, I don't know if they paid for it. I guess they did. They bought a greenhouse from them, and they offered to come out and actually build it. And I'm going, they're like an hour from me. Oh, tomato skins will blend. Good. Love Cat, that's a great idea. Making a vegetable soup with the carrots, tomato. That's a great idea. Perpetual says any plastic needs UV protector. Well, I don't remember if they said that it had that. I don't have a Vitamix. No, it's not Vitamix. It's Green Star. I just thought of it. I have the Green Star 3000, I think, which was out in 2000. That was the thing that was the model in 2000. Cook down 4 hours. I'm just going to do that in the slow cooker. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Gretchen. I mean, I'm just going to end with this thought because I heard the other day, this is not official. Actually, I think it was official, but it was, yeah, I heard it, someone else say it. So I don't know, but that food prices are already up 31%, and that's not going to stop. So, the more you can barter, if you have something to barter, then even if you're not growing your own food, if you've got something to barter, maybe you can barter something. Maybe you can make some bread and barter a loaf of bread, and somebody can give you vegetables. I mean, there's got to be a way. So start getting creative and think about it, because we want to survive all of this. So thank you so much. God bless you all. I hope you all stay safe. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and we will see you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will be back from New York, and hopefully I'll have a video or two up before then. So thanks for watching. Check out my latest videos, follow my journey, and all of that. And God bless.